I'm Crickets, and welcome back to I Have a Story. Well, I'm still talking about my, childhood and pre-adulthood. The more I think, there's a lot more to tell that, well, tell me how many people you know who experience these experiences. Well, there's been an awful lot of bad. There's also been a lot of high moments in my life, too. Problem is even in my high moments, I didn't feel confident. I didn't feel strong in what I was doing because, again, this is how much family life really affects some people. My sophomore year of high school, we moved from an inner city school to a rich school full of money. And I was not happy about that. My freshman year of high school was in the inner city. Hoopties, guns, drugs, knives, all that going on in the parking lot on a daily basis, wide open for everybody to see. Now I'm at a school where I come in and everybody's driving BMWs and Mercedes, and that wasn't me. That was not where I came from. My friends were back there. The school I came from, you don't stand up like I did at this school and really get away with it unless you've got a group behind you to back you. I went into a brand new school with a lot of different mentality. One of them was I didn't want to be there. And I remember when I first walked in the front door and I walked straight down the first hallway, there were two guys sitting there, standing there in front of their lockers. They looked at me and go, "Oh, great, another skater fag." I wore baggy clothes and I was a skater and an athlete, and I played with musicians and I did everything my whole life. Nothing, I want to know how everything works. I've never been stuck with just one group of people with one interest. Another reason I've had so many friends. But when they looked at me and I heard what they said, I just turned around, grabbed both of them by their necks and slammed them against the locker and said, "What the did you just say to me?" They didn't have nothing to say. They were stumped. Eyes like, uh-oh. Yeah, I came into that school pistols blazing. But I wasn't like the dickhead of the school. I was the school clown. I'm the one who stood up for all the little people. You didn't use terms like skater fag and band geek and call people names like that when I was around, because I'm the one who stood up for them all. I don't care how big and bad anybody was in that school. I'm bigger and badder. May not look bigger, but I'm bigger on the inside. I earned my stature in that school. I remember I saw this girl, and it was one of those moments that the heavens just opened and the light shined down and just, I'm going to date that girl. But she's a senior and I'm a sophomore. And not only was she a senior, she was breathtaking. She was athletic. She was intelligent, had a high GPA. She was one of the top seniors of our school. Still going to do it. You tell me I can't, I'm going to find that as a reason to try even harder. Well, I was friends with her two best friends, and this is how I won her over. I was friends with her two best friends, and I've been racking my brain. I remember the one girl's name is Katie. She had long, blonde, curly hair, and I can't remember the other girl's name. But I asked him, I said, "Hey, can you give me Cindy's locker combination?" I mean, you look her up in the yearbook. This was our life. I mean, I don't know why there's anything wrong with telling it. Nothing ever. Well, let me keep going. Her name was Cindy Brady. She's freaking breathtaking. So I got her locker combination from her girlfriends. And before one of her track meets, I filled it full of flowers and little sticky notes with little quotes and sayings and poems on it. I've always been a romantic at heart. I love doing things like that. And guess what? It worked. I became one of the most. Oh, God, so many guys came up to me. How would you do that? I became one of the most guys that everybody else was jealous of. Dude, you're a sophomore. You're dating her? Yep, sure am. I even, her next door neighbor, Eric Hammer, I was friends with him. I went over to his house and snowboarded off his roof just to impress her, because that's the kind of dumb little boy I was. I was one, I'll impress a girl. So I snowboarded off his roof that winter, right next door to her house to impress her. And I made it. Didn't get hurt. I was a good athlete at everything I did. Everything. But I never had the confidence because my parents beat it out of me. There's no telling what I would have been. I might have become an arrogant prick at that point in my life. Gave myself at something I've never wanted to go down the road of becoming an arrogant bastard. Maybe this was the Lord's way of keeping me from doing it. I don't know. But she ended up breaking up with me at Bob Evans, a restaurant I later on started working at. Not long. It was shortly after that I started working there. She broke up with me on Christmas Day. I thought, oh, I'm being a big boy. I got her jewelry, and she didn't even let me give it to her. We sat down. I still remember we walked in. You walk into the counter, take a right, go down to the end, take a left, second booth on the left. It wasn't a booth. It was just a table, 2 seats. And she broke up with me on Christmas Day. And I was crushed. Like, of all days, I know you're a senior. I know you're going off to college. I know this isn't going to work, but Christmas Day, come on. That's what happens when you're at the top and you drop. Oh, it's one of those things. You're at the top, the only way to go is down, and when you're down, the only way to go is up. But how many sophomores got to date a breathtaking, intelligent, athletic, one of the top seniors?